Welcome back, everyone. Episode 4 of Water Hose Drinkers. I'm Alex Smith, my co-host and cousin Josh Bevel. We're just two dudes who like to drink water out of a hose. We're gritty. That's what we do, you know?
Drinking water out of the water hose is good for your immune system, though.
It is. I mean, it's how we've made it to old age, and they helped me get through college.
Yeah, don't get your fifth booster. I mean, just drink out of the water hose and you'll be all right.
Minerals, supplements, vitamins. I mean, they should sell that at GNC.
Oh, 100%, dude.
All right. Well, per the usual, starting off with a song of the day, song of the week. What you got?
The great Sturgill Simpson, Some Days by Sturgill Simpson. Got to see him live in concert, early 2020, right before COVID, I think. And, man, he's unbelievable. He really is. And he's got a lot of great songs, honestly, not just that one.
He's got a banger-ass duet with Willie Nelson, Juanita.
Juanita's great, man. I mean, like I said, that's just two songs, you know. He's got just a whole, big list of them, in my opinion.
Well, dude, my song of the day is My Sharona by The Knack. So just picture this. It's like late 1980s. You're in some club just ripping some key bumps in the bathroom and you hear My Sharona playing outside. You're about to go just dance your ass off. That's the vibe we're looking for today.
Couple gator tails.
Couple of gator tails, dude. Really just been on music that you want to do hard drugs to lately.
Well, Alec,
if I were somebody that
drugs. you whatever floats your boat, man. I mean, I don't condone, what you do in your free time, but that's what you like, man.
Hey, man, it's all hypotheticals, just like gambling and narcotics. Like I said, we have GA and NA meetings now on Tuesdays in the Walmart parking lot.
Yes.
We'll see y'all there.
Yes, 100%. So, first thing we got, Bama USF.
What a poop bowl. Stinky, stinky game.
Dude, I don't even... Who do they start?
They started Tyler Buckner. It's a transfer from Notre Dame.
Followed the OC, right?
Followed the OC, Tommy Rees, who was at Notre Dame last year. And if y'all remember, Notre Dame had offensive struggles up and down all year last year. So the interesting thing, man, is Bama has a ton of guys at quarterback, but they brought in Buckner in the late spring, and it kind of made everybody go, Saban must not like what he has back there. Jalen Milroe started the first 2 weeks. Buckner started on Saturday against USF, did not look good. They played a bunch of different guys at quarterback on Saturday, and then now Jalen Milroe's getting the start again for Ole Miss. So, dude, first couple of games, man, like you played Jalen Milroe, and you run the ever-loving hell out of the ball.
Yeah.
He uses legs, you run read options, you run design quarterback runs, and they didn't do any of that. They tried to air it out against Texas, and
I feel like the game plan went out the window.
Game plan went out the window,
yeah.
Dude. They got down by a couple of scores, and they thought, we got to start throwing the ball. I feel like that happens so often where teams just get down, and they completely abandon the run. They start trying to sling it all over the field. Defense drops 7 or 8 guys back into coverage, and they just start throwing interceptions or whatever. Like, dude, never abandon the run unless it's late fourth quarter.
Are they in Tuscaloosa or Oxford?
They are in Tuscaloosa this weekend.
Okay.
Bama is a 6.5-point favorite.
I don't know. If I was a gambling man, I would lay off. But I'm not, so I'm going to lay off anyway.
So you're already laid off.
Yeah. So,
dude, I think Ole Miss is going to win close, or Bama is going to have a Bama game. But also, we've been hearing from Alabama, we're angry. They're mad now.
Yeah.
Their back's against the wall. We've been hearing that for the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
how mad can you get?
I get it. I mean, back's against the wall, whatever. But you're also playing Ole Miss. And that great offense, Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin hasn't beaten Nick Saban in his career. So, I mean, I don't know. This is a losable ball game. I feel like 6.5 is too many points, to be honest with you.
Vegas knows something, dude. That it either seems like a trap where that spread's so big, or I say so big, 6.5, but almost a touchdown, and they're kind of baiting people to take Ole Miss plus.
Yeah.
And Bama smokes them. But also the 6.5 always scares me, man, because I see a 6.5 or a 2.5, and I'm thinking, okay, everybody's going to be on that. They're like Bama by a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then Ole Miss covers. So I don't know, dude. Kind of a spooky line there. It's not on my picks for the week.
Dude, so next thing we got, I'm kind of tired of talking about Colorado to begin with.
Yep.
So I really don't want to talk too much about that game. But what are your thoughts on that hit on Travis Hunter?
Dude, I think it was a late hit, but I just didn't see what everybody else saw with like the malice behind it. I mean, man, people were saying that he gave Travis Hunter a life-threatening injury. He was literally on stream a night or two ago wearing a giraffe onesie and just talking about it casually. Like, the man's life was never in danger.
Like, even he said, and Dion said something like, no, like, we're not upset. Like, his football's football. Like, you know what you signed up for, you know? And, like, I agree. Like, and of course, it's awful that what everybody's sending, you know, that guy, like, you know, death threats and, you know, all that nasty shit that they're sending him. But I just think at the end of the day, it's football. Late hits happen probably 4 or 5 times a football game on any given day. I mean, that stuff just happens. Like Travis Hunter said it himself. Football is football. So I don't understand it. A 15-yard penalty, that's what should have happened, and that's what did happen. So give it up. He shouldn't be suspended, shouldn't lose his scholarship or anything like that. Like, come on.
Well, dude, I played safety in high school for 2 games, and I got turned into burnt toast, and I got benched. But besides that, I just remember, like, seeing a receiver come across the field and he doesn't know you're there, that is like a safety to opportunity. Yeah. Like, I want to be on SportsCenter top 10. Like, I'm about to lay the wood right here. And I think he just came in a hair too late. But I don't see the ill will towards Travis Hunter that everybody else is seeing.
Well, if you want to see a nasty hit on a safety to a receiver, you look at that Florida-Oklahoma national championship game.
Ooh. Damn.
Like, that's way worse. Way worse.
Bro, I mean, thinking about the Legion of Boom with Seattle,
dude.
All of the licks they laid.
But what I like about football is you look at these old school videos of people just slamming them to the ground, knocking them out. Like,
it's a violent sport.
I want more of that. Like, quit complaining. Like,
it's a violent sport, man. It always has been, always will be.
It's just because of Dion's team and all that. He's a big player. Yeah, like, come on.
Dude, okay, I know we said we're not going to go super deep into Colorado, but, dude, it has gotten to the point of, like, a cult following. Like, such blind loyalty.
And what pisses me off the most is, like, all of these, like, people that just, I've been a Colorado fan for so long. Like, no, you haven't. Like, come on. You're just all of a sudden rooting for Colorado because of Dion. And, like, they got Dwayne Johnson and Lil Wayne, Offset there. Like, who gives a shit? Like, I hope they lose every single game for the rest of the season.
Well, they got a big prove-it game this weekend. They're traveling to Eugene, Oregon. Got the Ducks on the road.
They're going to get the absolute shit kicked out of them.
Oregon is favored by 21 right now. I've seen 20.5 at some places, but 21 most places.
I think that's too much.
It's a lot of points, man, but Oregon they have really improved their trench game under Dan Lanning. Bo Nix.
Colorado's got no defense.
They have no secondary whatsoever. Bo Nix, dude, I am in on Bo Nix, Pac-12 Nix.
Yeah. I mean,
he's not the same player that he was at Auburn.
I think Oregon beats them pretty good, and then Colorado sneaks in like 1 or 2 scores late just to, like, cover their spread.
Top 20 matchup, according to the most recent AP poll, has Colorado at 19, Oregon at number 10. We'll get into it later when we start doing our Week 4 preview, but Pac-12 is rolling right now, man.
Oh, dude, I know. Well, enough of freaking Colorado. Dude, South Alabama beating Oklahoma State. Shout out Sunbelt. But, dude, what was the final score? 28-7?
33-7.
33-7. There you go. I mean, dude, Mike Gundy in his career has been known for his offense, right?
Yep.
No offense at all against South Alabama. South Alabama, no disrespect to them, they're a damn good football team.
They're a good G5 team,
dude. They're gonna compete for the Sun Belt Conference Championship 100%. If they're on that side and playing in the championship, I wouldn't be surprised one bit.
Hey, guess who took Oklahoma State over on win totals this year?
You?
This guy.
Well, you don't bet.
Well, I did in my mind.
Okay, fair enough. You just wrote it down on paper, like you're just betting $1 with your brother or something.
No, dude, I just, I'm very interested in the math side of the lines.
Yeah.
So preseason, I'll look and just make little mental notes. I like that right there. If I were to bet, if I were to be in a state where it's legal, like I probably would.
You're just a real math wizard, aren't you?
Dude, I've been called a wizard of many things. But it was 6.5, by the way. And did you know that Oklahoma State paid South Alabama $500,000 to come into Stillwater and beat the dog shit out of them?
Only $500K?
Yeah.
Georgia Southern got like 1.3, 1.4 from Wisconsin.
Whoo!
We'll get into that game in a minute. But only $500K, that seems a little low.
That was what I saw on the internet, and the internet is always right, so.
Yeah, 100% always right. Did you see that Missouri versus Kansas State game?
Yes, dude, that was a banger game. I feel like this past week of college football was so slept on because there were not very many ranked matchups,
Dude,
if
I
any.
agree.
And it ended up being a great week of
Great
college football.
weekend, dude.
That Missouri game was fantastic. Their kicker hit a 61-yard field goal to win. It's nuts.
Dude, and he missed like a 40-something yarder at the beginning or sometime in the game, I'm pretty sure.
Also, I can't remember his name, Missouri's kicker. We'd love to have you on the pod. You seem like a fellow water hose drinker.
For sure.
That dude is built like a brick house.
Dude, I know. He's a tank, dude.
I said, that's a kicker?
He's a tank. I know.
He looked like a D-end.
Dude, and I love their head coach, Eli Drinkwitz, too.
I like Drinkwitz too,
Yeah,
man.
I like Drinkwitz a lot.
I cannot remember a time in the SEC where A, expectations were so high for every team, and B, there were so many likable head coaches.
You know, he was on App State staff for a long time.
Yeah.
Under Satterfield, and he was head coach for a year after Satterfield left and went to Louisville, and he went to Missouri.
Dude, I like Drinkwitz. I like Beamer. Obviously love Sam Pittman.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, I'm a personal fan of Kirby Smart. I think he's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Clay Helton, too. Gotta love Clay Helton, man.
Gotta love Clay Helton.
Gotta love him.
Dude, I know Brian Kelly is goofy as all get out, and you have the fake Southern accent and the TikTok videos and stuff like that, but I do think he's a damn good ball coach.
Yeah, I mean, that head coach at Florida State's really turned that around, too.
Norvell's really turning it around. Yeah. But, dude, for Brian Kelly, man, to come into the SEC year one, win 10 games, win the division, beat Alabama, go to a New Year's Six, win a New Year's Six in blowout fashion, nobody expected that.
100%. You know, not only college football, we had a great weekend in the NFL.
It was a great week in the
NFL.
But
to close out our week in the NFL, can we get a moment of silence for Nick Chubb? That was much needed. Man, I feel sure everybody's seen the video now. But I mean, good gosh, again.
That was the same knee that he injured at Tennessee. I believe that was 2015, perhaps 2016.
Yeah, maybe
we were
16.
playing in Knoxville, and I mean, just multiple ligament injuries. Although the first one was kind of non-contact, he planted weird on the sideline. This one was contact. He was wrapped up, and Minkah Fitzpatrick came in low, and people have been talking about Minkah Fitzpatrick having ill intent behind the hit.
No.
Again, I don't believe that, man. It's football. Nick Chubb is a big, powerful back. Those defensive backs are taught to come in low and take him out
for sure.
with the legs.
That's what they're told to do.
Dude, I don't buy into any of the head hunting or any bullshit like that. It's just something that's really unfortunate. And Josh, if there is a man on earth that can come back from that knee injury twice, it's got to be Nicholas Chubb.
Dude, it just pains me to see him get hurt, man. It really does.
Such a just good dude, quiet, keep his head down, keep grinding. man, I know he's loved by like his hometown, his high school, the state of Georgia loves him for all he did for us.
Yeah.
Man, it's you hate to see something like that, but like I said, I think he's got a good chance of bouncing back.
I had to start a Madden franchise with Aaron Rodgers and Nick Chubb just because I was so hurt. And I've only played one game, so we got a long season ahead of us. You know, we are the Atlanta Falcons, just because I like their uniforms. But, you know, with Rodgers and Nick Chubb leading the offense, man, we're going to have a good season. We're destined for the Super Bowl.
Destined for the bowl.
Dude, speaking of the Falcons, what a game. Younghoe Koo, Georgia Southern guy, game-winning field goal against the Pack Show, Green Bay Packers. Dude, that was a good football game.
That was a really good football game. Man,
Bijan.
it looks like Atlanta hit on Bijan.
Yeah, man.
I feel like so many people were questioning it, and you can still make the argument on whether or not they should have taken on Jalen Carter there, but their defense looks much improved. The offseason additions are hitting. Still not a whole lot of passing game with Ritter and the other crew.
He's getting there. He's getting there, though.
But, you know, as he gets more starts, builds more confidence. Another interesting fact, Desmond Ritter is undefeated at home, both in college and in the NFL as a starter.
I saw that.
Has not lost at home yet.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, he's just got to get some confidence back there, and I think games like that help his confidence 100%.
I mean, dude, he was
even though he didn't do nothing crazy, but that's a good win.
He's one of the best quarterbacks in Cincinnati history. Very quietly
for sure.
had like high 30s, low 40s total wins there as a starter, and I mean, yeah, I just think he's got to get eased into things, and then that passing game will come around.
And Jordan Love, that little false start he had trying to
yeah.
QB sneak.
Oh, dude, that was – besides that, dude, Jordan Love looks like –
he looks good, man.
Could the Packers have hit on their third straight franchise quarterback?
I think they're going to win the division.
I still got the Lions as the division winner in the
I
North.
think the Packers are going to win the division. I really do. But University of Georgia, Bulldogs.
All right. Unranked South Carolina came into town. Georgia was down 14-3 at the half. Ended up winning 24-14. Went on a 21-0 run in the second half. Kirby Smart halftime speech was top tier football content. Look it up if you haven't seen it yet. He basically talks about we're going to come out here and we're going to win every little moment. That was his big spills. Every little moment we're going to win. You don't have to score a touchdown like on every single play. We're just going to win. Just come out and just win. And, dude, they did. Like, I think this is so good for this Georgia team. They really needed to be challenged against Missouri last year, and they responded well in the second half. And then again, this year with South Carolina, responded well in the second half. I know a lot of people are going to be on Bobo's ass and Carson Beck's back for lack of performance in the first half, but dude, go back and
played a good ball game.
Go back and look at the difference between first half Beck and second half Beck. It's night and day. Second half,
sure.
I think he realizes, okay, if we're going to win this game, I got to do what I'm supposed to do. In the first half, dude, he had like 5.5 yards per target or yards per attempt. Was just throwing screen behind the line, tons of wide receiver screens. And then finally, the second half, Bobo lets him uncork one. First play, first drive, hits Ra Thomas for a 35-yard gain. And then he has that confidence like, oh, shit, I'm a gunslinger.
Yeah.
This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So, dude, I just hope going forward that Bobo will let him start out like that.
I'm tired of everybody criticizing Bobo. Like, even Kirby said in his press conference after the game, like, somebody asked him about the play call. And he was like, well, I don't understand all that. We've been running the same plays since he got there, basically, since Jake Fromm was the quarterback. Like, they're not doing anything different. Like, on offense, you're not doing anything different. It's the same old Georgia offense. Like, yeah, you can say here and there maybe a play shouldn't have gotten called. Okay, that happens, right?
Dude, so many people, it's so easy for an armchair quarterback to say play calling, quarterback play, whatever. But the way I've started looking at it over the past 2 to 3 years is you have no idea what is going on in those pregame meetings. You have no idea what they saw in South Carolina's defense. We have no clue what happened at practice this week, except for little tidbits. I just feel like questioning play calling and personnel is something that I know so little about that it just doesn't even feel right to criticize it.
Oh, I 100% agree, man. And, I feel the same way. I feel like Georgia and Georgia Southern fans just all, like, everybody has got something to say. I mean, everybody has got something to say about, their own teams, but I'm just, what we like is Georgia and Georgia Southern, so it's what we're going to talk about. And just quit jumping to conclusions. Like,
dude,
I don't understand it, man.
only fools make conclusions in the first 3 weeks. You gotta get a good sample size against good opponents, and then form your opinion. And also, dude, with Georgia fans, it becomes such an echo chamber where one hears it and then the next 100 are repeating the same thing all between each other. Well, anyways, I got some final stats. Carson Beck, 27 of 35, 269 passing, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. He's taken pretty good care of the ball this year so far. And Dejon Edwards, dude, is really good to have Dejon back. 20 carries, 118, and a tutty.
Yeah.
I still think he's the best running back on Georgia's roster.
For sure.
And you could tell the difference with the run game.
And so this past weekend, I had a pleasure of going up to Madison, Wisconsin for the Georgia Southern game.
Dude, tell us a little bit about the environment. Is Madison a cool city?
Yes, it really was. I didn't get to spend much time kind of around Madison, but it was really pretty. Weather was great, honestly. But I was a little underwhelmed I guess underwhelmed might be the wrong word. I expected more out of their fans to be allowed. The jump around was cool. The student section, they showed up at the end of the first quarter. They left after a jump around. They didn't even stay for the rest of the game. But I didn't like that. It's not like the South. You know what I mean? Students are there 20 minutes before kickoff. And they stay for the whole game, unless we're kicking the shit out of somebody. But I just thought they could be louder. Like when Georgia Southern went to Nebraska last year, like Nebraska fans were loud as hell. Like that was probably one of the loudest stadiums I've ever been in. But I just expected more out of the noise, out of their fans. There was a lot of people there, but it was a quiet stadium.
Do you know the 2 loudest games I've ever been to? Number 1, well, I'll start with number 2, Georgia hosting Arkansas a couple of years ago. Crazy loud. It was like a noon game too. But the loudest I've ever heard a stadium was in the old Georgia Dome when Georgia opened the season against North Carolina.
Really?
Remember in Kirby's first year?
Yeah.
And Jacob Eason came out and he played in his first game. Dude, that long touchdown run by Nick Chubb and Brian Harion's first touchdown was probably the loudest I've ever heard it.
I think the loudest I've ever heard a stadium might have been LSU Clemson National Championship.
Where was that at?
In NOLA.
In NOLA?
Yeah.
That's tight.
Joe Burrow. I mean, there's a ton of Tiger fans there. But, so Georgia Southern, I mean, you can't win a football game when you have 6 turnovers, man.
No, that's not going to happen.
Defense played their absolute ass off, man. I thought the defensive scheme was great. I thought Coach Bailey had a good game plan, as well as Coach Ellis. I thought Coach Ellis had a great game plan. I thought the play calls were great. I thought the coaches did their part, but 6 turnovers.
You cannot have 6 turnovers and beat a team whose overall team talent is better than yours.
I truly thought the game plan was great on the offense and defensive side of the ball. And, I mean, I thought we matched up well with them on our offensive line and their defensive line. But, man, they're a very well-coached football team. Their game plan was good as well. I mean, we had some mistakes, here and there besides the turnovers. But, all in all, you take away 6 turnovers, man. That's the difference in the ball game.
I mean, you take away 3 of those, it's probably a difference in the ball game.
I mean, if you don't, they scored 21 points in the third quarter and 7 in the fourth. So at halftime, you're sitting there, it's 14-7 or something like that. I want to pull it up to be right. But
I thought it was all square 14.5.
We missed a field goal.
Or Of course, now the
Right at the
Wisconsin
end
head
of-
coach is Luke Fickell, who came over from Cincinnati.
Yeah, it was all square 7.5.
And the
Halftime was
Wisconsin
7-7, and we had 3 turnovers in the first half, and it was 7-7
Wisconsin starting quarterback is Tanner Mordecai,
from
who
SMU.
transferred from the Pony Express.
So yeah, dude, 7-7 at halftime. They scored 21 points in the third quarter, 7 in the fourth quarter. So we missed a field goal to close out the first half. We had 3 turnovers in the first half, and it was all square. So if you don't turn the ball over at all in the second half,
You just keep going.
I mean, we don't lose that football game at all. And I truly believe that we don't lose that football game at all. I mean again, like you take that away. 3 turnovers, just the 3 turnovers in the second half. That's such a different ball game. Such a different ball game. We had 2 more in the third quarter.
Well, what can you do? I mean, they were 18, 19 and a half point dogs.
20 and a half.
But you look to Ball State this week.
Yeah, I mean, to close out, that game, Davis Brin, 33 for 52, 383, touchdown, 5 picks, and a fumble. But again, besides the turnovers, the guy still threw for 33 for 52, 383 in a score, man. O.J. Arnold had like 10, 12 carries, 65, 70 yards on the ground, touchdown. He looked great. I think Jalen White got a little banged up. I'm not really sure what's going on. I can't really speak on that, but I don't know if he's going to play or not. I haven't seen anything, but yeah, man, you just got to move. You just got to eat it. Move on. You need a big win against Ball State. You're minus 6.5 against Ball State.
6.5 point favorites.
I mean, I think that you got to come out there and win by 2 touchdowns at least, because the next week you got Coastal at home. Night game under the lights, 7 p.m. kickoff on NFL Network against Coastal. You need a big win to get your confidence back against Ball State,
You definitely do, dude. And
especially Davis.
so just recap: Georgia Southern on the road this week against Ball State, it's minus 6.5. Georgia at home, a night game against UAB, and they are minus 42 right now.
I got one last thing on Georgia Southern, and we can move on. I know Davis had a bad game. Again, about the fans, I'm tired of people just getting on him, man. Have his back.
Have his back.
He's your
always.
quarterback on the team. Have his freaking back. Like, it just pisses me off when everybody's like, oh, you should have pulled him, whatever. I don't care. That's not any of our decisions.
No, you
but
don't,
the
you
coaches.
don't pull them, man. You
Like,
don't.
I truly think that people just need to support him more. But I don't think he cares about all that stuff. I truly think he blocks it out, and he's going to have a good game on Saturday.
I love people that think that these college coaches are just idiots.
Yeah, like, they're there for a freaking reason.
They are there for a reason.
Like, Davis is obviously the quarterback for a freaking reason.
The guys you're talking about have decades of experience
Yes.
coaching high-level college football.
And they know more football than all of us combined. Like,
Dude, Mike Bobo has forgotten more about the game than you and I will ever know combined.
yes, like, it's ridiculous.
Same with Clay Helton, same with Brandon Bailey.
Like-
Brandon Bailey, a young guy, 4.78 product.
Yeah.
Went to my alma mater of Westfield. It's pretty cool.
Fraternity brother of ours.
And a fraternity brother.
Yeah. So, the old Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yags, what do you do,
Yaggies.
man? The Chiefs had Chris Jones back, and he made his presence known early and often. Jags are struggling with a little bit of injuries on the O-line, so that did not help anything. Travis Kelce, first game back, had a touchdown. Offense couldn't get going whatsoever. Several failed attempts in the red zone. Just
They were
sputtering.
bad in the red zone, man.
Just sputtering
Bad.
inside the 20. But what do? You move on. Got the Texans this week at home, minus 9.5, which I think is a big line. But
It's a big line for NFL. I mean, I still see them winning that game against the Texans. But, I mean, man, you just... hardly any offensive production, man, and you're relying on your defense to stop Patrick Mahomes. The Jags got a pretty decent defense now.
I mean, they do.
got a good defense.
Anytime you're keeping Patrick Mahomes led offense under 20 points, the final
pretty
score was
good.
17-9.
Yeah, pretty damn good. The red zone killed them. If they had any efficiency in the red zone at all, they win that ball game.
So, rookie right tackle Anton Harrison went down with an injury. Hopefully nothing too serious. Walker Little came in behind him and played his ass off. Walker Little had a phenomenal game. But I saw the question posed today earlier, if the 2021 Jaguars draft class is the best in franchise history. So obviously you got T-Law and ETN. Those are, starting quarterback, starting running back. They got Tyson Campbell, starting corner, number one corner. Andre Sisco, who's now the starting free safety, and Walker Little, who looks like he could be the starting right tackle.
Cisco had a pick that
in the
game,
first 3 rounds there.
Cisco had a pick that
Cisco
game.
did have a pick.
Then the next year you get Trayvon Walker.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
The only thing about me saying that is the best draft class in franchise history is that would be giving some credit to Urban Meyer. So
yeah, well, screw him. Jets, Jets. They look like absolute scum of the bottom of your shoe. Bad. I don't even want to spend too much time on this dude. All I'm going to say is Zach Wilson is just god awful. I mean, I don't want him at quarterback. I mean, I wanted them to trade for Minshew, but that kind of looks like that's off the table now with AR's got the concussion, and he actually came in there. Minshew actually came in there and played good. But, man, defense had a bad ball game, but Cowboys look good, man.
Cowboys are really freaking good.
Dylan Rosado, please come on the podcast.
Dylan, we'd love to have you on. Zach Wilson, what do you do? I think we talked a little bit last week about where the Jets should go, what direction they should take in terms of finding a replacement quarterback. But if they don't get it done soon, then the whole purpose of finding a replacement quarterback goes out the window. I mean, they got to start racking up a couple of wins just off the running game and off the defense if they want to stay in this playoff hunt.
I think they should sign Big Dick Nick.
Big Dick Nick?
Yeah, old Nicky Foles.
Dude, that's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
No, not at all. People were talking about bringing back Joe Flacco, and I was like, good gosh, like give me Matt Ryan instead, honestly. But
you don't want Kaepernick, bro?
No comment. The only problem is you need a mobile quarterback with that offensive line. That's the only issue, and that's why I think that they're going to hold on to Zach Wilson and let him ride out for the rest of the season because the O-line is not great, man. Left side of the O-line is not good at all. His backside is not good at all. And, I mean, backside protection is not good. I mean, you got to have somebody that's got legs, and Zach Wilson can actually move around in the pocket somewhat. And he had a couple good throws, but, man, he's got to do a lot to impress me.
I stand by my suggestion of going after Taylor Heineke. Walk up to the Falcons and offer a king's ransom for him.
Yeah, well, I also like to hold on to draft picks too. I think they're going to let them ride it out.
I'm just saying, if you want to make a playoff push this year, I think that's your dude.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. You want to get into the gambling corner? How'd you do last week?
2-1 last week.
Good week.
Washington covered 16.5, and BYU Arkansas went over 48. So pretty solid. My one loss was Nick Chubb over on his rushing yards.
Can we get another moment of silence for Nick Chubb? Okay.
Don't forget, if you are a gambling degenerate, call 1-800-GAMBLERS Anonymous. We will get you right. We got some good programs in place. We don't do that kind of stuff around here. We just like the math.
I know. So what's your record on the season?
6-3 on the year. Feeling pretty good about that. Typically, I do not start that well. And I'll just go ahead and jump into my picks for this week. We are riding the Husky high. We got Washington minus 20.5 at home versus Cal again. Cal did not look very good versus Auburn. I think Washington's going to throw the ball all over the field. We got Kansas State and UCF over 52. Big 12 matchup.
Spicy.
And UCF has one of the best offenses in the country this year so far. Obviously,
Malzahn's got it rolling down there.
Malzahn's got it rolling. They're rushing for 300 yards a game.
Shit, I didn't
Technically
know that.
299 and some change, but
300.
300. And then final NFL pick, we got the Eagles -5 at Tampa Bay Monday night.
Well, I like your picks. I like your picks a lot. The over is the only thing that scares me because a lot of the unders have been hitting this year. But for myself, I went 0-3 last week.
It's a brand new week.
I'm just glad that I don't gamble, and these are all hypotheticals. So, I'm 4-6 on the season. Like I said, this is all hypotheticals. Please call 1-800-GAMBLER if you have a gambling problem.
Make the call.
And if you're in Middle Georgia, you can join our Gamblers Anonymous chapter. And I think our next meeting, we're meeting next Monday in the Walmart parking lot off Zebulon Road.
We changed to the Publix parking lot. Walmart,
Publix.
See, we started to get too many people, and Publix parking lot accommodates us better.
Gotcha. But for this week, I got Boise State -7. It's either Thursday or Friday night. Might be Friday night versus San Diego State. I don't think San Diego State's very good, and I think Boise State's going to have a good game.
Boise State is solid this year.
Yeah, they're good. Next thing I got, Georgia Southern Eagles -6.5 versus Ball State.
Nothing new here.
Absolutely freaking hammer it. Hammer it.
Get right game for Georgia Southern. Crush it.
For sure. Get right game. Davis is about to have a big game. He's about to get his confidence back. And, I expect him to throw for probably another close to 400 yards this week. I honestly do. Last thing I got is NFL Packers -2 versus the Saints
Where's that game being played?
in Green Bay.
Oh, yep. Hammer it.
In Green Bay.
Give me the Pack show. The Saints look dog water this year so far.
Yeah.
Derek Carr, man, that experiment is not working.
So, Al, it's time. Do you know what it's time for?
Time for Pepe.
Pepe's weekly 4-pack straight off the zero-turn Toro. So Pepe, he had a great week last week, man. He called me up. He said, man, I just absolutely killed it. He said the bookies hate me. He said I got banned from sports betting at Circa in Las Vegas. I mean, he's just absolutely killing it right now. They won't let him bet at Circa anymore. He's got to find a new casino. So
Pepe's killing him.
I mean, he's just absolutely hammering Vegas right now. He went 4-0 last week, had a big week, man. He got lucky on the Packers because he took the Packers' points, not the money line last week. So,
Take the points.
yeah, for sure. He was smart on that. But he's 7 wins and 5 losses on the season. So, he's doing pretty well right now.
We're in
for
plus
us.
territory.
So, like I said, he's got to find a new casino, unfortunately. I think he said he might start betting at the Wynn or maybe the Venetian or something like that. I'm not really sure.
Did Pepe cause any of that hacking nonsense?
He probably did.
Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I did.
So
I
for
did
those
hear
of you
about this.
unfamiliar, several casinos / sports books in Las Vegas got hacked last week.
And we know who the culprit was.
And yeah, it's a hacker group. I can't remember their name.
I think his name's Pepe.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's the culprit.
it could have been way, you know what I mean? Well, anyways, people are flooding the lobbies of these casinos, can't get into their room, ATM's not working. Everything digital was down with these two casinos. So it was
I think MGM was one of them.
It was MGM and the Bellagio.
Yeah.
Basically, the same group of hackers approached the Caesars casino, and Caesars paid them $15 million to F off.
Really?
Almost dropped our first F-bomb, but I think we'll save that.
Dude, that's crazy. I mean, Pepe was probably a part of it. Who knows?
But yeah, dude, the MGM and the Bellagio should have just paid the daggum ransom.
I didn't ask him about that. Maybe I should call him up after this episode and, see what's up, see if he's all right.
Where was Pepe September 14th?
I don't know, man.
We don't know,
I don't
dude.
know. I don't know. But for this week, he's got 4 bets for us. He has got FSU -2.5 versus Clemson.
Like it.
Nebraska -21 versus Louisiana Tech. UCLA +4.5 versus Utah.
Interested in that.
And me and him are great minds think alike. Packers -2 versus the Saints.
And that is Pepe's weekly
Weekly
4-pack.
pack straight off the Zero Turn Toro. Shout out Pepe, you're the man. Keep on killing it in Vegas, man. Alec, who's your winner of the week?
Winner of the week. I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons, man.
Dirty Birds.
And it is because Bijan looking like he hit. I think the Falcons hit with Bijan, dude.
Dirty Birds.
He looks so good so far, and I feel like they're using him very well. I would like to see him get a little more work, kind of from the running, or not from the running back, like from the slot receiver. I would love some sets out there where you have Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Algier at running back, and Bijan in the slot. That's gnarly.
And you forget about Cordero Patterson, too.
And Cordero.
Yeah. My winner of the week, old Baker Mayfield, man. 26 for 34, 317 in a tug. I mean, dude, I think if Baker stays hot, dude, I'm a Baker Mayfield man, dude. I really am.
I'm a Baker Mayfield man, too. I feel like a lot of Georgia fans had a bad taste in their mouth because we played against Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl, and Baker was being Baker, being loud and boisterous. And
That's just how he is.
That's just how he is. But dude is a super competitor. Keeps it pretty clean off the field.
Get your weight up, little boy.
Clean enough. Get your weight up. I'm a Baker guy. I hope he finds his home in Tampa Bay.
Who's your loser?
Loser of the week. We've already discussed him. Alabama's OC, Tommy Rees. So I think what happened, now this is pure conjuncture, so take it for what it's worth. I think that Tommy Rees pushed hard for his boy, Tyler Buckner, to start this past week, and it failed miserably. And, dude, if he doesn't turn this whole ship around with Jalen Milroe, I think he's out as Bama's OC after 1 year.
For sure. I mean, I agree with that. My loser of the week, it's a hypothetical loser because we do not gamble at all. Please call 1-800-GAMBLER if you have a gambling problem. We do not condone gambling. We cannot gamble in the state of Georgia. So this is all hypothetical. If I was a gambling man, all the hypothetical money I would have lost. My loser of the week is myself.
So all of the mental money that you've
So
lost?
yes, all of the mental money that I lost. I lost too much mental money this week, you could say.
I don't agree with that one. I think you're being a little hard on your hypothetical self, and I think that you will hypothetically have a great week this week in hypothetical gambling.
Thank you. I appreciate that, hypothetically.
You're welcome, hypothetically.
So what's our Mount Rushmore this week? You want to tell the people what we got?
Mount Rushmore. So the pool is current NFL quarterbacks that you would like to have a beer with.
And as y'all know, once we get done with it, we give each other one-word responses. So just so it doesn't, drag on.
Josh, you can go ahead and kick us off.
So my honorable mention, Minshew Magic, old Gardner Minshew. He's got a great mullet, man. Fu Manchu. I think he's a great party guy. So shout out to him. Number 4, Baker Mayfield. I'd love to have a beer with Baker. He's got a little arrest record, a little party scene behind him. I feel like he has a good time. Number 3, I got Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen, big frame, big guy. I think he could absolutely crush some beers and have a good time. Number 2, old Matthew Stafford. I think Stafford it's Matt Stafford. Just growing up, watching him play at Georgia in his, Hall of Fame NFL career. Why wouldn't you want to have a beer with the guy, honestly? And, kind of same thing goes for my number 1, Aaron Rodgers. How can you not want to have a beer with Aaron Rodgers?
I'm going to give one word, and then I have to give context. Arrested. Because if you go out with that 4, there's no way you don't end up in jail.
Well, 5 because you got Minshew, though.
Yeah.
We'll mention 2. Yeah, for sure. What's your list?
My list, all right, start with honorable mention goes to Matthew Frat Stafford, obvious reasons. Next, we'll go to T-Law. T-Law is my homer pick. I'll be open and honest about it. He's my quarterback. I would love to hang out and just talk ball with the guy. Next, we got Josh Allen. Obvious choice.
Yeah.
He gives me like big dad energy. I could just see us being at the lake. Josh Allen crushes like between 12 and 18 Keystone Lights, drives us around on the boat, slings us around on the tube, like grills burgers. I just think he'd be such a very cool guy to hang out with. Next person is completely on the other side of the spectrum, but would still like to have a beer with Big Kirk Cousins. I feel like Kirk Cousins would take one like fruity mixed shot and then be feeling a little bit silly and just act super goofy, and I think he would really trip me out in a good way. Final is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts just seems like a super cool and nice guy. You know, I feel like we'd be getting to the end of the night and everybody be ready to go, and Jalen would be like, "Oh, I already ordered an Uber." Like, that's what I'm getting from Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts, come on the podcast. We'll have some Modelo's together.
Interesting.
That's what I was going for.
Interesting. But I think you're right about Kirk Cousins. I think he's a massive lightweight, too. when it
Oh,
comes
such
to
a
that.
lightweight. Such a lightweight. Like one glass of wine and be like, "Oh, I got a little headache."
Yeah, 1 glass of white wine, too.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know, dude. I want to see him like
he seems like a rosé guy, though.
He would kind of like make me uncomfortable in a good way.
Yeah. He's like that weird friend that just like can't handle their alcohol, but they're still fun to be around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Big Kirko.
Well, thanks guys for watching. There's no Chaos Theory this week, but we've got a good interview with my brother Andrew Bevel. It's absolutely phenomenal. So I'm sorry if you're on Spotify, you can tune into YouTube to watch the interview, and be sure to like and subscribe to Waterhose Drinkers on YouTube, Spotify, and Twitter. Thank you. You got anything else for us, Al?
Oh, we were supposed to call this episode the family reunion because we have Cousins and Andrew, our interview. Great
Yes.
interview. Director of Player Personnel at Georgia Southern. It is the family reunion episode 4.
Yes, it's really super great interview. I'm really excited, for everyone to see it. We also got a great interview in store next week with Giles Amos.
Ooh, that one's gonna be
tune into
special.
that. Thanks, guys.
What's up, everybody? It's Alex Smith and Josh Bevel with Waterhose Drinkers, and we have a very special guest. First and foremost, my cousin, Josh's brother, but also the Director of Player Personnel for Georgia Southern University, Andrew Bevel. Andrew, I'm very happy to have you on today.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on today. Sorry, my cat's actually trying to get into the screen right now. But yeah, thank you guys for having me on, dude. Y'all's podcast is really fun to listen to.
We're having a great time with it so far. So, Andrew, are you finally ready to admit that I was the MVP of Thanksgiving football all those years?
No.
No, with me and Josh, we had the freaking duo going on.
Alec, I think.
And then when we had Zach, too.
Best completion percentage, best winning percentage. I kept my stat books from all the years. Touchdown to interception ratio was insane.
Dude, you were throwing picks left and right, 100%. You're like Grayson McCall, not any good.
I was throwing touchdowns to myself like Desmond Ritter. Anyways, to start us off, Andrew, if you had to pick one coach or staff member to add to the current roster or staff from any years past, who would it be?
Any years past? There's a couple, honestly, on this staff. Obviously, I think you add Coach Applin. Coach Applin was a quarterback in college at Arkansas State. He was 2-time Sun Belt Player of the Year. I mean, you can take BJ Johnson, a wide receivers coach. I mean, he played at Georgia Southern. I mean, he's still a phenomenal athlete. I wish I looked like him, like he still does now. Um, I mean, you can technically count AP, Adrian Peterson. I mean, he's part of our staff here too. He's been here for a while, and I mean, AP still looks like he can still play today.
No doubt. No doubt. AP is still absolutely massive. I mean, BJ Johnson, I mean, I remember watching him in college. I mean, I wish he would have be in this offense that we currently have at Georgia Southern. I think he would truly dominate, honestly.
There's no doubt about that.
Next thing we got for you. So explain your role with the team and what your day-to-day is like.
So my role with the team is that I am constantly evaluating high school kids' tapes. I am evaluating our team as well to see like what our needs are at each position. Saying like, well, okay, I need to go watch quarterbacks. Like that's going to be a need. That's always a need for everybody every year. Offensive line is the biggest need too, because I mean you sign probably at least 3 linemen every year. But my day to day job is that I'm watching tape with our coaches. I'm finding new guys to present to them. Right now, we're kind of getting head start on the next year's class, is saying, all right, who are the guys that we need to start recruiting? Start trying to get to our games and stuff like that. So that's kind of my day to day role, and also to kind of the help the coaches stay organized in their recruiting as well.
I have kind of a two-pronged question for you. So first off, obviously Georgia Southern is kind of on the back slope of switching their offense completely from run dominant to near pass dominant. So the first part of the question is, how has that changed your recruiting strategies? Do you look into new areas, new high schools, quarterbacks and receivers? And then the second part of the question is, do other teams ever have an effect on who you're looking at? Like, let's say App State offers a 3-star that you didn't really have on your board. Does that make you want to go look at that guy?
Yes. I mean, we usually look at all the Sun Belt offers, who all they're offering, especially here in Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, Florida, North Carolina, and sometimes in Tennessee. Like we always look at who they're evaluating as well, because those are guys we probably going to play against. So we want to see if we can try to get those guys to come here so we don't have to play against them. What was the other question? I'm sorry.
Just how your recruiting strategy has changed over the past several years with kind of the switching of the offense.
I mean, your pool of guys, I mean, we still recruit in the same areas, but the thing is that like your pool of guys from like, especially at quarterback, it goes from about this much of type of quarterback to this much of type of quarterback. Because now you don't have to worry about a guy, his first thing is like, all right, can he run? No, we don't have to. That doesn't have to be the first thing anymore. That now we can look at quarterbacks like, all right, how's his accuracy? How's his completion percentage and stuff like that? Is his team winning and stuff like that? So, I mean, your pool of players goes, especially and also to a receiver. Like now, kids actually want to come play in this offense. That was the issue that you might have had in that old offense, is that your pool of players, those receivers don't want to come play in this offense where now they're going to get the ball thrown to them. Now we're throwing the ball, I mean, 40 times a game. Each receiver is probably going to get at least minimum 3 touches a game.
Yeah, I mean, you look at guys like Caleb Hood, I mean, that were in that previous offense. And now, I mean, I know we talked about it in Caleb's interview, but I mean, he really just was block, 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 block. Now the guy's leading receiving yards in school history.
Yep.
I mean,
and that's the crazy thing, is that his yards went up just from 1 year. I said now you see, you're going to see some of these younger kids, like they're going to get all these yards like Hood is. Now they're going to destroy Caleb's record, because that's most of those yards came from 1 year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's crazy. I'm pretty sure he's a single season reception yards holder too.
Sure. I believe so. Yeah.
But I mean, you're 100% right. I mean, if I was a recruit, I mean, you got to look at that kind of stuff. And Caleb Hood's a prime example. I mean, you look at Kyle Van Treesen, hopefully Davis might break some of his records too. If you're a quarterback, you got to look in year 1 of that offense. Look what Kyle did. I understand we went 6-6, but look at his numbers.
Yeah. Well, and also too, you look at O-line and tight end. For O-linemen, like we can tell like guys like, look, this is the offense that NFL teams are going to want you to be in because I mean, you look at the NFL, is we run the NFL offense. You throw the ball like 40 times a game, and I mean, you're going to be pass protecting the entire game, and especially at tight end, like in the past, like tight ends were kind of hard to come in between. Now the tight ends, like we use our tight ends a lot in the receiving game, the run game, and whatnot.
Yeah, and we got Keaton Upshaw back in Wisconsin this weekend. I know this won't come out until this after the game's over with, but I'm excited to see him play. I mean, we've never really had tight ends like that. I mean, you include JJ McAfee too.
Yeah, exactly.
Next thing we got for you is, do you feel like you personally have more success on the offense or defensive side of the ball, or whether it be, do you feel like you have more success at a quarterback, O line, D line?
What do you mean success? What do you mean?
Like, do you have more success? Like, do you feel like recruiting?
I mean, success always comes with in recruiting when obviously like when you win. When winning cures a lot of stuff, as everybody knows that. I mean, defensive wise, we've always been really good at success at recruiting some really good defensive players. I mean, offense. I mean, it kind of goes both ways in my opinion.
I mean, I guess to reiterate on that, like, do you feel like um you look for certain type of players at certain positions? Like, let's just say you said earlier, in the previous offense, we wanted a quarterback to run. Now we don't particularly need that at quarterback. Let's just say at receiver or something. Are you looking for a certain type of receiver to fit the offense?
Yes and no. I mean, for a receiver, I mean, Coach Ellis's philosophy is just
Yeah.
fast people that have good hands. And then like also too, I mean, and also too is especially here, we like recruiting just football players. I mean, those guys like if you get stuck like trying to find a guy to fit, you're kind of going to get I feel like you're probably going to get stuck sometimes. I mean, you just go get the best players and then you figure like as the coaching staff, like you figure out how to use them. And I mean, you look at Isaiah Simmons at Clemson, like that kid played what 5 different positions, but they made the best of them because they know how to use them.
Yeah, and I mean that's a good point too. And um you were talking about you just want guys that can play ball. We want some gritty water hose drinkers out there. You know what I'm talking
We
about?
want the grit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
All
man.
right, my next question for you. Let's say you're sitting at your desk. You got 20 tapes of quarterbacks come across your desk. Well, not tapes, probably just huddle now. What is one attribute that you look for when you're watching these guys play high school football that just stands out right away? And you see that one thing and you're like, oh, I got to send this to all the rest of the coaches. Or you see one thing and you think, okay, this is not a Power Five guy or FBS guy.
I mainly look forward to see how his release for the ball, like his throwing motion, and then usually like if I get into it a little bit more here and there, like I try to look up his stats. Is he making his team better? Is he throwing for a lot of yards? How's his completion percentage and stuff like that? Because I think that plays a lot of factor. And then like trying to figure out, I mean, and then also too as a quarterback, like you kind of want to go meet the kid and see how he is as a person. But I mean, from tape wise, I mean, you see, like, you got to see him throw a lot of different kind of balls. You can't, like, I mean, a lot of people can throw a go ball, but like, can he hit the slant route? Can he hit the curl route? Is the ball as soon as the snap, 1, 2, 3, throw? Is it gone? How fast can he get out to get to his player, to get to his receivers or running backs or whatnot? It's like, how fast is he? Is he comfortable in the pocket and stuff like that? Is he able to make plays on his own, like run out of the scrambling, throwing downfield, throwing off balance and stuff like that? Those are the kind of things that I like to see in a quarterback, like his moxie in the pocket.
What do you think is the most challenging route for a high school quarterback to throw? When you see it on film, this guy hits a certain throw, you're like, okay, he's got it.
Um, I would say is what we call the 2 ball. So you got your 1, 2, and 3 ball. Your 1 ball is usually like your curl route. Your 3 ball is your go route. Your 2 ball is the one that where like you kind of like you gotta you gotta throw that sucker right in there on a quick slant or on like a fade route. It's like, can he drop the ball in the bucket? Those are the kind of throws that like you can tell like how a quarterback's going to be.
You mentioned earlier, get to knowing the kid too. When you're talking to not necessarily a recruit, but maybe a coach or something, is maybe this quarterback that you're looking at. Are you worried about him being a leader on that high school team? Is that something that you ask the coach or what?
Yeah, that's definitely something you ask the coach is like, is he the one bringing the guys together? Is the one leading the team? And also too, you can tell that by the record almost too. Like, is he making the team better? Like you look at his competition he's playing. All right, is he playing really good competition? And he's not like at a great school, but they're still winning. That kind of shows how he is as a quarterback.
Well, I think the last thing we got for you is, who is your favorite Georgia Southern player in history of Georgia Southern football, and why?
I mean, I never really got to see Tracy or AP, so I can't really. I mean, you can always say them, but I never really watched them play. You can almost say like, I mean, I can throw Kevin Ellison in there. I mean, Jarrett McKinnon. Um, who else? I mean, Jason Foster. I mean, there's a huge pool of guys. I mean, Kevin Ellison to me, because I was a little bit older to be able to watch him and understand football. I mean, when Kevin came in the game, like it changed the momentum of everything. I mean, and also too, like, I mean, defensive wise, you can almost say that about oh gosh, Illegal Antoine Williams,
Yeah.
AJ Wilcox. I mean, shoot, even our defensive coach, our safeties coach, Darius Eubanks, who played safety and linebacker in college. But like, well, also too, like people don't realize about JJ Wilcox. Like JJ Wilcox didn't play safety till his senior year.
Played receiver. Yeah.
He played slot receiver his whole career at Georgia Southern, and then they moved him to safety, and he was a third round pick in 1 year playing the position.
Third round pick by the Cowboys, I'm pretty sure. I think
That's insane.
Yeah. I mean, also too, man, Bear Pig. I mean, shoot, that guy was different.
Oh, the man bear pig, Brent Russell. That's a guy that I want to get on Water Hose Drinkers. I mean, he's a real gritty dude with the Fu Manchu, the eye black. I mean,
Yeah.
if they would allow him to wear that dark visor in like a full cage, like right now, I feel like that's what he would wear.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, also too, you can save some defensive guys too that are in the league right now, like Raymond Johnson. I mean, Raymond, like when Raymond stepped on the field, like every team was just like, great, I gotta go against that guy now.
Yeah.
Darryl Baker. I mean, Darryl Baker's a freak athlete. I mean,
Starting for the Colts.
it was hard for anybody to get around him. I mean, Kendall. I mean, go watch the South Alabama game. Kendall's last year. I mean, he made a unbelievable play. He's on the opposite sideline. Or in Mobile, opposite sideline. He literally runs across the field to stop a go ball. It made a PBU, and it was insane.
I remember that game. I don't remember that particular play, but I do remember that game. I wish I could have been there.
Yeah.
But Andrew, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We really do appreciate it. And everyone, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. Really appreciate it. Alec, you got anything else for us?
I've still got some years of eligibility left, and I'll be emailing you some tape later, Andrew.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks again, Andrew. See you guys.
Thanks, guys. See y'all.
See ya.